Good evening, lovely tubers. White Mexican back again for another Market Watch investments video for you guys tonight. I have a plethora of things I'm going to be showcasing for you guys. These are going to be my personal selections, and I do hope that you enjoy. Getting things kickstarted tonight is going to be Athenia. This is going to be the secret rare print out of Premium Pack 2, currently the highest rarity that we have here in the TCG. Let me just start with, this card has unparalleled artwork. Of course, it's high rarity, secret rare, and Premium Pack 2 is a very obscure set. I don't really know if it was underproduced on the market or not, but very, very old and kind of an obscure set to find. Really cool artwork. And this theme behind this video is going to be kind of light fairy orientated. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the market here. It looks like it's roughly around 2 bones for lightly played before you factor in shipping, and then roughly around 3. And there is a 4 stack here. Check to see the bulk pricings here. It looks like that 4 stack for roughly around 3 apiece from Oblivion Games is going to be in the lead here, and then it jumps to about 5, and it increases very quickly after that for the stacks, and then 2 pages of availability on that. So all around amazing card. I'm pretty sure there's only other commons. Let's see here. This has been doing this all day where it switches. There actually is a healthy alternative, which is a DT common. 2 variants of commons here from Fairy Structure decks, interestingly enough. Let's take a look at the Dual Terminal 6 commons. And these are roughly around 2 bones. So, I mean, that's kind of a tough toss-up, because when the dual terminals are roughly around the same price as the secret rares, I think at that point you might as well just go for the secret rares. That's what I would personally do. But the dual terminals are still very much aesthetically pleasing and very, very great collectability behind it. DT's been discontinued, and it's an all-around just fanboy favorite rarity in general. Alternate Universes has a fat stack of 6 here near mint for roughly around a little over a phantom over 2 bones, so completely up to you guys. But again, just an amazing card with some amazing artwork and just doing some really good things here in the game. Angel 07 is actually going to be next, and realistically the secret rare Light Destruction is really going to be the ideal rarity. There is an ultra rare from the manga promo, which is going for some pretty good price points too, but it's an ultra rare, so we're just going to go ahead and kick it off to the side and focus on this amazing secret rare from an amazing set, Light Destruction. Again, Phantom Darkness, Light Destruction, my all-time favorite light and dark sets. Just some crazy powerhouse cards coming through here. Because it's the highest rarity, of course, we're going to be looking at exclusively first edition. We're going to go ahead and swap some settings here to find some appropriate ones. The first lightly played is going to be about 20 bones for first edition, exclusively. And then a near mint is going to go all the way up to a Phantom under 30 bones for about 29. These are all single stacks, so we're going to go ahead and see. It doesn't even look like there's an option to do 3 stack. Only 2 pages of availability. That's for singles. See if there's even any twosies. They're all one-ofs. So some incredible price points. Really cool artwork, really cool effect. And this is just kind of like an obscure card that I really people don't know about, or people don't really think about, forget about. It kind of reminds me of like a hero card too. I love how, you know, it's in like the Fairy Engine stuff, but it just looks like a total signature like hero player or hero artist drew this up, to me personally. All right, 10th Goddess of Light is going to be next. This is going to be the original print from Crimson Crisis, going all the way back into this very, very old set. Also amazing effect here. I'm not really sure if you can combo this, like double stack it, like if you keep on drawing one, revealing, drawing one. I'm not really sure how that works out. I mean, comment below if you guys do. I'm by no means a master at ruling or timing or all the special kind of regulations that go into this game. But interesting play on words here and really cool artwork. I don't know about this like splitting swan dress thing that's going on at the bottom. It's kind of crazy, and I don't know if this like atomical position looking thing here, but really cool artwork outside of that. I love the feathered angel wings, and again, Light Fairy, pretty solid effect, 24 beater, and again, it's just kind of an obscure secret rare, and going for some really good, relatively good price points here. We see lightly played first edition going for about 19 bones, and then near mint start at all the way to whopping 35, so definitely a significant price increase from not only first editions to first editions, but the first editions from Unlimited, but the lightly played first editions to the near mint. Like always, there's always a great fluctuation and valuability. And there's only one page here. Now there are other versions. I'm pretty sure they're just commons. It's really frustrating that does that. And yes, which actually from the same decks as well. The Lost Sanctuary and Wave of Light, those are the fairy structure decks. So next is going to be Victoria. So this is a little bit more of a obscure card. The artwork is just amazing. So first thing I'm going to put out there is the artwork and the sheer fact that this comes from a very infamous set, Stardust Overdrive. It's the high rarity of secret rare. Completely unparalleled artwork. Really great artwork. I love the artwork on here. This is what's really going to uptick the price on this, and this is a total collector's card. Because of all those things I just mentioned, it really makes it a high-end target for collectability value and collector's market, because its all-around effect is really not kind of super good. I mean, if they come out with a card that's kind of like Zombie World, that everything turns everything into dragons, maybe this would see some play. But I mean, other than that, it's really not too much of an impressive card besides for collectability purposes right now, unless there's some kind of combo dragons that come out specifically for this. But starting market price is going to be 85 bones for lightly played first edition, and then if you want a near mint, it's going to go all the way up to a whopping 140 bones. And there's only one page of availability here on the TCGP platform, and these are all one of. So very incredible stuff. This really is the only version that's really going to be worth investing any kind of time or effort into. I'm pretty sure everything else is just commons. There's some Duelist League rares, which are kind of here nor there, and then there is of course the common from the Lost Sanctuary. So ideally this is really going to be the only one. Even Unlimiteds are going for somewhat of an interesting price point, but again, the collectability is going to be very packed behind the first edition prints exclusively. Next is going to be infamous Christia, Archlord Christia. This card is amazing. This is one of the reasons why I love fairies and light decks, and there's so many, besides the fact that there's just so many variants and so many like things that you can switch around, and there's a lot of splashable cards and engines that you can mix in with lights in general, more specifically fairies. This is kind of like, reminds me of like kind of Dark Arm Dragon. Obviously this card's a lot better than Dark Arm Dragon. It's a powerhouse lockdown. It's got, relatively high attack. You can special summon it, locks out special summoning, and it can also recycle itself, which is really cool. And a couple variants here. Obviously, there's the Stardust Overdrive, very infamous set, very infamous card. These are extremely competitive to find first edition. I personally have several unlimited prints, but unfortunately, I have not obtained a first edition print still to this day. And you can see here, starting market price for lightly played is 50 bones, right off the market there, which is actually a decrease, honestly, because I feel like the unlimiteds used to be around like 80, 75, so it's actually had a pretty good blunder and decrease for the unlimiteds. But we want to talk about first editions because these are the ones that are getting pretty crazy. We're going to start in market price here for a lightly played first edition is going to go to 210 bones for lightly played, and then we start to get into 300 mark, and it looks like the first near mint first edition is a whopping 300 bones plus shipping, which happens to be a 3-stack, so that's pretty incredible. Just out of curiosity, we're going to go ahead and see. Looks like there's 2 stacks here for first edition, and let's see what stacks are for unlimited. Let's see if we can find some of those. Stacks start around 70 bones for the unlimited near mints. So all around amazing card. Again, amazing rarity of secret rare, high rarity, a really great artwork. What I wanted to reference really quick though is the alternatives. There is 2 super rare, 2 mirrored super rare prints here. Destiny Soldiers was the most recent one, and then of course a long time ago, 10 years plus, 2011 Collector's Tin promos came out. These are really affordable. Of course, you have the commons here from Wave of Light, but when you have 2 supers, this is a super rare I would personally go for. Now, granted, the Destiny Soldier super rares, a little bit more affordable to a certain extent. Definitely more on the market because Destiny Soldiers is a lot newer, a lot fresher on the market than the 2011 Collector's Tin promos. This is very, very old though. And this is still a super rare holo foil, and as super rare, and it looks really, really great personally. Just gonna switch some settings here. Now these, of course, were promos, so they have the limited edition. They're not gonna come first edition like the Destiny Soldiers. That was an actual subset, a sub. What do you call it? Yeah, I guess like an additional subset, side set. So you're gonna be able to acquire first edition prints, which is pretty cool. But that doesn't take away from the sheer value of this being literally almost at least a decade, almost a decade old, a little over a decade old now. So very, very old and relatively hard to get, and still really looks really great. I mean, I don't know if the upgraded rarity from Destiny Soldiers might have the attribute of hollowed out and the stars, those level stars. I think that I don't remember if Destiny Soldiers. I'm pretty sure Destiny Soldiers came after Battles with Legend, Light's Revenge. So there is that sheer fact. So it's like if you want to go for that, you can get first edition prints, and you can also get kind of the updated rarity. But I still think because of the sheer age of this, I would go for this one specifically. Just some personal white Mexican theory for you guys. And this is really cheap. It's like pretty much 2 bones across the board. So we're going to go ahead and switch over to 3 stacks. And the first stack is going to be from the infamous core TCG. There's a fat 24 stack here for 2 bones. So this would definitely be something that I don't look out, don't overpass. You know, who knows? It's been a really long time. I mean, since Destiny Soldiers, that was the last print. So, I mean, not too terribly long, but a relatively long time, in my opinion, since this card being such an infamous card, being such an amazing powerhouse card, that they haven't reprinted it. We're getting some new structure decks here that I'm going to review later on in this video that potentially maybe we'll get another crap common reprint, but I think it would be really, really nice to get another Mirrored Seeker reprint, but I really don't see that happening anytime soon. So I really feel that these super rares are highly undervalued for what this card is. Next is going to be Gel and Duo. This is specifically the Dual Terminal 5 commons. These are insanely affordable, really cool artwork, amazing rarity DT. You can bust out a Christia with this, with its second effect, and other than that, it's just a level 4 Light Fairy 1700, and you know, it also works kind of like a Spirit Reaper or a Marshmallow. It's pretty cool. So we're gonna go ahead. These are already stacks, half bone for an 8 stack near mint, and it goes to a little bit over a bone for a 9 stack here. So plenty of availability. 2 pages of stacks here. Of course, there is the original print Secret Rares, which are significantly more money. There's the common, the Dark Legends Ultras, if you guys are into terrible rarity cards, and then there's the Strike of Neos, really cool set, Secret Rares. Unlimited starting market price is going to be roughly around 9 bones, and then near mint is going to be around 20, well, around 12 bones. But we want to talk about first editions exclusively, because I mean, if you're going to go highest rarity, you might as well go all out. It looks like the first lightly played first edition is going to be 85 bones for a 2 stack. And then near mint's going to go all the way up to 155 bones before it bottoms out at the sheer fat price of 200 bones. So very, very expensive card. Honestly, just get the DTs. The DTs are almost just as cool and extremely more affordable. Next is going to be Honest. So, of course, we have Dark Honest that came out with the new set. Really cool. I was really disappointed in this card. They made this so much more significantly more weaker than the original Honest, because it decreases the attack of your opponent's monster, but it's only 1, whereas Honest, you could pitch it and you can defend your monster for a whole turn because it gets all that attack, especially if you do it on like a really beefy monster. But with Dark Honest, it's so weak because it literally just stops essentially 1 attack. If your opponent has like multiple monsters and only 1 loses the attack, your monster isn't defended for follow-up attacks, which is very, very disappointing. It's still really cool artwork, cool concept. I mean, I think it's been quite a while. A lot of people have wanted this card for quite some time, but it's a really big shame that they watered this card down so much. So it would have been a lot more significant. I feel like a lot of people would want to play it more if it wasn't for that huge limiting factor. But all around, Honest, okay, is some really great prints here. Of course, we have the Duelist Saga versions. My personal favorites are the Dual Terminal 7s. Of course, we have the Light Destruction original Secret Rares, and then of course the original Light Destruction Ghost Rares, which are just like insane values. Everyone knows, especially for the first edition prints. They used to have a couple unlimited versions, but I think I pushed them off quite some time. But honestly, for the price, and this used to be relatively more affordable. It used to be like 2-3 bones, and I think it's like a little bit more now. We're gonna switch over to near mint and lightly played, see what we can dig up. Starting market price is roughly going to be about 6 bones for lightly played, and then near mints zoop up really high up to 25 bones. And there's really not a lot of availability on this. Again, this is an infamous card, amazing effect, amazing artwork, amazing history merit, and this is just an all-around really, really great card, rarity in the card. Martial Lawn's going to be next. It's going to be a highest rarity as a secret rare. Again, Premium Pack 1, one of those little bit more obscure subsets that were kind of lightly produced. I don't really remember a whole lot about this set, and it's very, very old. Burns your opponent for 1,000 potentially, and basically just is a stall brick. Works kind of like Spirit Reaper. We're going to go ahead and look at some market prices here if this page wants to load. I'm not really sure what's going on here. And okay, it's going to be roughly around 3-ish bones for lightly played, then it jumps to about 4, and then our first near mint is going to be roughly around 5 bones after we factor in shipping. If we switch over to stacks, we're going to see lightly played here from Multi Monster is going to be 6 stack for 5 bones. And there's about 2 pages of availability for stacks on that. Alternatively, this really is the only real print that I think is really worth pursuing. All the other prints are going to be commons, which is not really going to be much of anything. Okay. Next is going to be Vylon de Sigma. This is a really, really cool card that a lot of people, I feel, maybe like don't really know about or kind of undervalue. It's a little bit of a slower card. I mean, it does take 3 monsters, which is kind of excessive. Really cool artwork, though. It does come in this amazing rarity of DT Ultra Rare, and I know it's like an oxymoron to say amazing rarity and ultra rare in the same sentence, but keep in mind this is specifically DT. I'm a huge fan of ultra rares from DT, promos from like, Shonen Jumps, and of course like older ultra rares, because back in the day Secret was the ceiling. So getting an ultra rare, especially first edition ultra rares, are very, very high value now, especially from Generation 1. You go some really, really great stuff out there. So we're going to go ahead and take a look here. Lightly played is roughly going to be around 4 bones, and same for about near mint for those single stacks. Core TCG holding up for roughly around 4 bones for a fat 7 stack here. And this card is increased slightly. I mean, people are kind of taking note of this. There's only 2 pages of availability for the stacks, so that's kind of interesting enough. There is a fat 24 stack here for roughly around 4 bones as well. But this card used to be like a bone, 2 bones, and it's doubled in price, but it's so affordable that really isn't that big of a deal. But it is, when you're buying in bulk, it kind of adds up. But this card's really cool. I think it has a really cool effect too. You guys can pause the video and read this. A lot of people aren't familiar with this. Really cool artwork, but the sheer fact that this is an ultra rare DT is very, very aesthetically pleasing, and I think, for the most part, a lot of people really chase after hollow foil. I mean, supers and above, and even commons too for DT. DT is such an amazing rarity. Of course, there also is the Hidden Arsenal's original secret rare prints. You can go for those. Those are probably going to be roughly around, looks like, 2-ish bones. So, but with the ultra rare DTs being so affordable, I highly recommend this. Is just going to outbeat the secret rare like in every single way. This does look very, very nice. It almost looks aesthetically more pleasing secret rare, but when you throw in the dual terminal rarity factor, it's just going to completely blow this original print out of the water. Next is going to be another DT card, dual terminal 4, King of the Swamp. So this is a quick pitch search card, and substitute water aqua. It's got, this crazy laser beam looking thing. It always reminded me of like a melting candle of wax or something, or like the muck monster from Goosebumps or something like that. But it looks like there is, what's going on here? Is just get a buyout, or what's going on? I'm trying to look for the near mints, and okay, here we go. So starting market price, lightly played is going to be 5 bones, and then near mint's going to go all up to almost the phantom under 11 bones for a 2 stack here. See what kind of bulk pricings we have here. 2 stacks of 3 starting market price is going to be around 11 bones, and it goes to about 12. Really, really cool card. Really great artwork, of course, dual terminal. Some really great stuff. There is another variant. Fusion Enforcers donned a super rare here. All these other ones, of course, you have the original Ancient Sanctuary going back all the way back to Generation 1 Yu-Gi-Oh! First editions. Those might be an ideal swing if you can pick those up. Ideally, the first edition super rares from Fusion Enforcers, that would be a healthier, more affordable alternative than the DTs. And then, of course, you have the King of All Calamities here, the Hobby League 1 super rares, which are very, very hard to get nowadays in the market here, especially for a relatively good condition one. Starting market price is going to be all the way up to 52 bones for this card for lightly played, and then 100 plus for, well, actually this one here is 65 for near mint for a 2-stack. So quickly rises very, very high for this exclusive super rare variant from Hobby League 1 here. So plenty of versions for you guys to look through. Personally, I would want the DT one overall. This is really cool because it's a very, you know, old, relatively obscure set, you know, from like Hobby League 1. I'm talking about, like, you know, Generation 1 Yu-Gi-Oh! There. But then again, if you don't want to go for like the, you know, these fat priced ones, you can always go for the alternative, which is going to be this, you know, relatively nice super rare here for first edition Fusion Forcers. Next is going to be Level Eater. So this is a banned card. This is something I mentioned. I know Bandless came out, really lackluster, not really to anything too crazy that came out, but this card has always been relatively affordable ever since it got banned. This is the DT variant from DT5, DT Common, really great, and this is just insanely affordable. We can see here stacks, not even 2 bones a piece. Gamer's Cave here has a stack of 10 near mint for 120, stack here for 124 for 4. Game Time CC, not even 2 bones, fat stack of 30 near mint. So 2 pages of availability for stacks, so plenty of availability to go around. This is just an all-around really great card. And again, it's very unpredictable when things will come back, but it's a really great card, and it's a really great rarity, and it's just the biggest thing is it's so affordable right now, and no one's really looking at it, and I've really been stockpiling a lot on this, more specifically his DT, and I'm a really big fan of DT, but besides that, for all those other reasons, I think it's a really great target right now. Of course, you have the Battle Pack Epic Dong Star Foils, which is kind of like an augmented version of DT, which those are kind of nice too, but they're never going to outbeat the original Dual Terminal. Dual Terminal was the first to do it like this. Really infamous history and great collectability behind this. Only holo foil we have here is the 2010 Duelist Pack Collection 10 promos, which are going between anywhere between 3 to 5 bones apparently, but for the price, this is significantly more affordable, and I think this is a lot more aesthetically pleasing and higher collectability than even the tin promos. I feel like the tin promos were probably way overproduced compared to DT, so I would highly recommend that you guys go for the DTs exclusively. So we are getting a new structure deck, a new agent structure deck, and this is really important to me because when I came back into the game in 2011, in 2011, the agent structure deck had just dropped. It was one of the last structure decks, and this was around just a really special time. 2011-ish, 2012-ish era of Yu-Gi-Oh! Was just an amazing time. And I love fairies, and I love the agent deck. The agent format was really fun. A lot of great, a lot of great memories and friendships. And there was just a really amazing time surrounding this time in the game. It was a really special time for me specifically in the game, and I'm really excited. OCG is getting this in August. They're dropping this here in the OCG for Japan, and there's one card that I read. I believe it was it not Venus? I think it was this one, the Agent of Life Neptune. Pretty good card. You guys can look it up. It's relatively insane. You can actually pause the video and read the effect here. It's pretty good. If this is the card that I'm remembering, I think this is the one. Kind of silly artwork here, but really killer effect. And definitely has intrigued me for this structure deck. I'm really hoping there's some pretty good, cool stuff that speeds up the agent decks and kind of brings it all back, because this was a really fun deck, a really fun format, and to have another agent format in potentially 2022 era Yu-Gi-Oh! Would be really cool. So this is definitely something that I'm keeping on my radar. I have a huge passion for investing in first edition sealed exclusively structured decks, pre-ordering them, getting them under the market price of 10 per box per deck, and you hold them sealed. And this is definitely potentially going to be, when there's more information, we can figure out more about the playability and kind of what is actually being hosted in this deck. This is definitely something that I'm going to be investing in, first edition sealed cases, because those things just go up exponentially when you just hold them about a year mark out of their production date or release date, to be more specific. Next is going to be structured deck Cyber Strike. So Cyber Dragon players, they're out there, just like hero players, crazy fanboy fodder behind this. There's some amazing, there's apparently going to be some really killer in the OCG. There's going to be, really killer reprints. I think they said that they're doing, I think was it impermanence, common impermanence, or common lightning storm. I'm not really sure. There's supposed to be some insane reprints. Obviously, that potentially could change for us here in the TCG. That don't always mirror OCG and TCG. Sets don't always mirror. Really cool though. Not so much the Cyber Dark stuff. This is gonna be more for Cyber Dragon. I know there's Cyber Dark players out there, but they're just, if you can't compare. I mean, Cyber Dragon was the OG, and I don't know if they came out of the same. Cyber Dark Impact, I think, was that the original set. I can't remember the original set that Cyber Dragon came out. I wasn't playing the game when Cyber Dragon first dropped, but anyway, this there's just huge fanboy fodder behind this. Again, structure decks are very affordable, especially if you pre-order them before their actual release date online. I personally use the eBay platform, and you just hold them sealed, first edition, and they just continue to exponentially grow. I mean, you look at Lair of Darkness, look at Gates of the Underworld, look at Shaddoll Showdown, look at Soulburner. I mean, there's multiple reasons that those decks have gone up and down in the market, but all around, they're not 10 bones anymore. They're significantly more, and that's the most important thing. That's why I don't really practice investing in a lot of sealed product, because it is very expensive for the most part, but every once in a while, more specifically for structure decks, it's a very affordable way to get into the sealed collector's market. And of course, there always has to be a buyer. There has to be a buyer's market for you to actually, flip and profit. But that's not always what it's about. It's more so about timing, and also investing in things that you really believe in, you really care about. And again, structure decks are relatively affordable, and you can get them easily in bulk online. And they're really cool, and they see a lot of play. I mean, you just look at Zombie Horde. Zombie Horde is another huge. That's the engine I'm using right now. I'm a huge Zombies fan. I've been playing Zombies for probably almost all of 2021. I've been playing Zombies, and it's been really fun, and I've had a lot of great stuff. So Structure Ducks is pretty cool, but again, so potential reprints, yeah, maybe they may not change, but more specifically, because it says Cyber Dragon and it's going to bring Cyber Dragon support, it's more so the allure behind the Cyber Dragon fanboy fodder player base. Alright, next is going to be Card Destruction. This is going to be the Legendary Collection Yugi's World. This is a really amazing set. I talk about all this time. If you guys haven't checked out this and Legendary Collection 3 and 4 and Legendary Collection Kaiba and Legendary Collection 2, and there's a lot of really amazing cards and amazing high rarities, and this is a really good card, and this card's at 1, and I feel like, a lot of people don't use this. I actually personally tried to, mess around with this with the zombies I've been running. Fortunately, it didn't really work out too well. Ended up taking it out, but this can do a lot of really cool things, and it's at 1 for a reason. Really cool artwork. I love cardboard on cardboard artwork here, and starting market price is going to be roughly around 8 bones for lightly played. For the highest rarity secret rare, I think this is significantly affordable. And there's other variants. Personally, I like the Star Deck Yu-Gi original Magic Stamp first editions for collectability purposes and just being like original run prints, but a really great card in general. I mean, near mints are roughly around the same price for roughly around 9-ish, 8 bones here. Let's go ahead and take a look at stacks. Stack market price, there's going to be 2 listings here. Starting market price is, again, roughly about 8 bones, and then jumps to 13 before you factor in shipping for a 3 and 4 stack. Now, this is a really great variant. Obviously, this is the highest rarity that we have personally here in the TCG. But again, if you're not going to get the first edition secret rares, then personally I would recommend, it's very expensive now, train's kind of left on this, but the starter deck Yugi super rares are really great for Generation 1 collectability. For several years now, I've been going on a rant collecting first edition starter deck Era 1 holofoils, everything from starter deck Yugi to starter deck Pegasus and Joey and Yugi and Kaiba and all that. The whole Generation 1 era starter deck stuff, they started all that, ramped around with MRL and LOB and, MRD and all those original core sets of Generation 1 Yu-Gi-Oh! Is really great. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at what the price points of the first editions are looking at now. Surprisingly enough, it's still relatively affordable. I mean, this is a Spanish one. Unfortunately, it's 5 bones for lightly played Spanish. I don't know what's going on here, if this is foreign or not. This is another lightly played for roughly around 8. So, I mean, not too insane. These looks like the majority of these are foreign, I guess. But it looks like the English ones kind of coming more towards like the 15, 20 bone mark here. And then quickly for the near mints is where we get that significant shift. I don't know if this is Spanish, so don't worry about that. But it goes up to about 25, and then all the way up to almost 70 bones. So pretty sporadic. Market doesn't really know what's going on with this card. But again, these are Generation 1. They specifically have the magic stamp here in the upper right corner, which is really cool. You got to go first edition. And again, there's just some amazing history merit. I mean, I remember being a little kid playing this card, and it's just ancient. It's just an ancient and great piece of the Yu-Gi-Oh history. Next is going to be Harpies Featherstorm. This is such a ridiculously amazing card. I've been playing against random Blackwing and Harpies decks, and they've been running this, and it's a really good card. And it used to be a solo print on a Duelist Saga, interesting enough, and it got a reprint here. And obviously people have taken note of this. There's been some significant price increases. There's this crap common here, but ideally the Duelist Saga with its exclusive lightsaber bar looking rarity. Again, Duelist Saga was the only set currently up to date to produce this very actually relatively nice, surprising to say, ultra rare and nice rarity in the same sentence there, but really great stuff. Also, Duelist Saga only exclusively came first edition. There is no unlimited, so it's kind of another interesting fun fact theory there. Starting market price is going to be 5 bones, and then here's a fat 6 stack. These are Italian apparently for 5 bones, and then it's again roughly around 5 bones here for 4.5 for a 5 stack here. 5 pages of availability. This is just an all-around amazing card. Kind of silly artwork, but really great card. I mean, just complete blowout card. This card is just, it's really good if you're playing Raid Raptor or Harpies, obviously naturally, or Blackwings, or any other kind of wind wing beast type. This is just like a super mega elite deluxe impermanence. So really great card. All right, next is going to be Rise of the Duelist. Rise of the Duelist just has insane value. You just look at the prices of this card. This still to the day, even Icy Dragon's Prison, this is $40 ultra rare, which is how is that even possible? And Schism, how are ultra rares worth so much? They're just terrible rarity of ultra rare. But anyway, of course, all the Dogmatica stuff, there's just insane value in it. And I was thinking about trying to invest into a case or something like that. But maybe you could potentially, relatively, especially if you're getting the Starlight rares, you definitely make money back very quickly. So I thought it was something that was interesting. I don't really know what the pull ratios were. Again, White Mexican, I don't really invest too heavily in sealed product, if much ever. I mean, maybe just again the structure decks and maybe the Megatins, but anyway, some pretty good value behind that set, so I just wanted to kind of showcase that really quick. That was just something I was kind of thinking about. And the last card that I want to showcase for you guys tonight is going to be a solo print common from Eternity Code, relatively new, Magical Hound. Kind of silly artwork. It's really unfortunate that they didn't make this a lighter dark. If they made this a lighter dark target, I think that would be superior in every other way. But unfortunately, I mean kind of makes sense because Machine Earth, usually a lot of machines are Earth, so I guess they kind of wanted to play into more support for machine based stuff, which is fine. But I think this effect is really good, kind of one of a kind. It is a tuner as well, so potentially you can go into the majority of the time, let's be honest, you're probably going to go into a link play. But if you're going to go into a synchro play, I mean, you can get a tuner on board with this. And the sheer fact that it can bounce one, it can be a very devastating card. I know my opponent one time bounced my Zombie World back, so it basically gave him a turn of free reign to not get his effects negated or his cards removed from play. So that was interesting, and that was actually the way I discovered this card. I had no idea that this card was even existent. So for what it is, common, I think this is kind of the MVP of the video for common cards. Really good, in my personal opinion. So I just wanted to showcase that for you guys. Link below is going to be to my Facebook. I would love to talk to any of you guys. about anything Yu-Gi-Oh related. Yu-Gi-Oh has been part of my life for almost 2 decades. I feel extremely compassionate about this game. I love the deck building, the creativity, the dueling, the investing, the brotherhood, the friendship. There's so many amazing things that this hobby can bring to the table for those who just choose to invest the time and enjoy the hobby. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys are making some fantastic Yu-Gi-Oh investments yourself. This has been a showcasing by The White Mexican, and I'll see you in the next video.